Hey everybody, what's going on? Hellmite here, bringing you another video from Grab the Lantern today. Today I wanted to talk about our newest release, Kaisa. Now, I have had a hell of a time actually getting this champion able to play. It seems like every game I got her, I got a remake or something went wrong in Champ Select, but I have gotten to see her enough to be able to formulate my first few opinions on our newest champion. Now, the biggest thing for me about Kaisa at the moment is that she is a little disappointing. And I was disappointed with her from a thematic perspective for a long time, but I think even more so, I'm disappointed with her execution and with how she plays in the game, because at the moment it kind of feels like, regardless of balance, that she just kind of feels like a less exciting, a less satisfying Vayne. If you look at them, they're both short-range hyper carries with stacking passives and mobility, but Kaisa has just a lot of kind of feel-bad parts of her kit. Her Q is really difficult to appreciate in team fights. It's just kind of really quiet, and the skill shot isn't very large, so it's difficult to tell that you're even doing anything. You just kind of deal damage to people nearby, so it doesn't feel that great. Her E feels bad, even if it's really strong. It doesn't feel that great to use because there's a fairly long lockout where you're not auto-attacking, and before you get stealth, that feels really bad because all you're doing is moving a little bit faster than normal. Now, once you have the stealth, I think it's a very satisfying ability. It has the same kind of jukey feel that Vayne Tumble does when she's got Final Hour running, but until that point, it just doesn't feel that great, unfortunately. The W essentially can't be used in team fights because it has a very long cast time, which is, again, another kind of feel-bad mechanic, I would say. And the biggest issue I have, though, is the passive pop that Kaisa should have that gives her the ability to deal a bunch of damage to people isn't nearly as satisfying as it should be. You see the damage, and the damage looks great, but there's no oomph behind it. There's no interesting pop. It just kind of happens, and you get a bunch of damage. Woohoo, good for you. And that's, to me, is almost the biggest letdown with Kaisa, is you get to 5 stacks, you get the pop, and there's no sound effect, there's no reward. Conversely, look at Vayne. When she procs Silver Bolts, there's this big sharp twang, you get a bunch of damage, it feels great, and it doesn't take as long to stack either. I would expect Kaisa passive to feel really empowering when you finally do get it, but it just doesn't happen, whereas conversely, Vayne can proc it repeatedly, and it feels good every single time. And Vayne just generally is more satisfying, and which to me makes her a lot more fun to play than Kaisa. Kaisa, I just think, is kind of meh all around, and that's even before factoring in her balance. Now, right, I've kind of said she's on the weaker side. I can definitely see that happening. Of course, part of it is new champion, people are still figuring her out, and especially due to how her passive works. A lot of people are trying out just really weird builds and trying to figure out exactly how Kaisa works. So that's part of the problem, and as a build is eventually figured out, people will probably have more success on her, but she's definitely numerically weak right now, and that doesn't help anything. But in general, she's just an unsatisfying champion to play, and I don't know how Riot would fix it. I think she needs some kind of just visual buffs, because otherwise she just isn't really that much fun. And now it could be possible too that she's just not my kind of champion. I think that much is clear. But I would like to see some kind of work done to make Kaisa feel a little bit better. I think her ultimate is great in terms of things that I actually do like. Getting your Evos is a pretty significant bump as well. Once you finally are able to build enough attack damage, attack speed, ability power, it feels pretty good. The biggest thing for me about those changes, though, is that it takes a while. Now, I went crit on most of the games I played, and a full Infinity Edge plus a full attack speed item doesn't actually give you enough to evolve your Q or your E. Instead, I had to add like a Vampiric Scepter and like one more dagger to the build in order to actually get those to transform. So that's a bit of a letdown, but I'm not significantly disappointed with that. I think that it's a good way to gate Kaisa, and it kind of emphasizes the fact that, yeah, she's going to do a lot of damage when she finally hits her item power spikes, as opposed to being very dependent on levels. So, and that's kind of a nice part about her, and I'm happy with at least adding the face mask. Obviously, I'm still disappointed in her general physical appearance, but adding the face mask does help at least a little bit in that regard. But so generally, I think Kaisa is the most underwhelmed I've been with a champion right now. Once she gets buffed, I'm sure she'll be a little bit better, but at least in terms of release, Kaisa hasn't done anything innately new for my taste. So Ivern, for example, was a champion that released underpowered, but at the very least, he was interesting to play, and he had a lot of unique things going on with this kit that you had to kind of try and figure out. Whereas Kai'Sa, it just kind of feels like she doesn't do that much different, and she doesn't do anything that interesting. She just kind of exists and just kind of feels like a phoned-in champion, so to speak. So hopefully in the future, Riot are able to kind of avoid these designs and come out with another champion that's a lot more interesting. For the meantime, though, I think Kai'Sa is just one that I'm not going to be very into in general. Anyways, those are just my thoughts about Kai'Sa. Go ahead and let me know what you guys are thinking of her down in the comment section below. If you absolutely love her, go ahead and let me know. If you're feeling kind of the same thing, let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoy the video, go ahead and leave a like. And if you really enjoy the video, consider subscribing. Upload a video every Monday, Friday, and on patch days as well. And if you're looking for more Grab the Lantern content, you can check out my blog, link down in the description. I upload an article every single day for your enjoyment. Once again, thank you guys so very much for watching. I do appreciate it. And I will talk to you all later.